Horns up, everyone. Welcome to Radioactive Metal's YouTube channel. This is Rock. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Yes, we're going to talk about metal, but our guest is a professional wrestler. She is the inaugural and still current Shine Nova champion. We have the Priscilla Kelly on the line today. Now, we're going to talk about wrestling, we're going to talk about her background, but we're also going to talk about heavy metal and how, her first concerts and how she got into it. And it makes for a very, very interesting and different chat. So I hope everybody tunes in, everybody likes it. Leave us some comments in the comments section. Tell us what you think and tell us if we should do more interviews with professional wrestlers who are also metalheads. So sit back, grab a beer, and take a listen. This is Hell's favorite harlot, the Priscilla Kelly. All right, so today on the line, we have a champion. She is the inaugural and current Shine Nova champion. She's Hell's favorite harlot. We have the Priscilla Kelly on the line. Priscilla, how are you doing today?
I'm doing marvelous.
It sounds like you're having a little bit of activity down there around you.
Yeah, I am. I'm getting my nails done, getting my super sharp pointy nails so I can scratch people's faces and back.
Awesome. That's what I wanted to hear. So the reason we have you on today is because, I know you're a metalhead. You like a lot of different types of music. I know you're also a metalhead. But also tomorrow on December 16th, you're going to be defending your championship at the Orpheum in Tampa, Florida, at Shine 47. Mm-hmm. So who's going to be your opponent for that one?
ACR came out during my last match and decided to roundhouse kick me in the head. And I guess she's challenging me for the next Shine show, which is a very unexpected challenge. I mean, of all the people that I have been around over the last 6 months in Shine, the people that have, with the Cutie Pie Club that have attacked me numerous amounts of times, and then ACR comes out, and it was a very big surprise of her, of all people, to challenge me. But if it's a challenge she wants, she's going to get it, and she's going to learn quickly that she challenged the wrong person.
Yeah, that's going to be a fight for the ages because ACR is no pushover.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the thing is I have defended my Shine Nova title since the tournament, and no one has been able to beat me yet for it, and nobody can get through my tactics, and nobody has the mind power to basically be what's the word I'm looking for? Let's just say I get in the heads of every opponent that I've had, and no one's been able to get past that yet.
Yeah, because you're kind of an unconventional wrestler. You kind of have some dirty tactics that you like to use. Can you tell our listeners what some of your dirty tactics that you like to use once in a while?
Yeah, I do quite a few. I lick, I fight, I grind, I do the I eat ass in the ring.
Oh.
I do. But the thing is, nobody's basically got the nerve to do the things that I do in the ring, and I think that's what makes me unique. Is I'm not ashamed to be open about anything, and I will go out there and do whatever I have to do to break down the psychological part of my, if you will, victims. Mm-hmm. And it's not that I rely on that, but it's a good way to really get in their minds, make them uncomfortable, so that when I do hit them with an attack, it's breaking them down, not only physically but mentally as well.
Yes, that's true. It's a very, you're kind of an unconventional wrestler, but very effective in what you do. I've even saw a match on YouTube that you had against Jordan Grace, where you actually stuck your hand down your trunks and you tried to shake her hand after her, and she just would not have any part of it. I mean, that's kind of insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people don't expect that. Everyone expects the same old, lock up. And nobody expects me to do the things that I do. So when I do it, it's really just like, it really makes them wonder, like, who am I in the ring with? What am I in the ring with? What is she capable of? What will she do to me next? And I want people to always be questioning what's going to happen to them when they're in the ring with me.
Exactly. That's a good tactic. So you started wrestling in early 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of wrestling at all when you started out?
I was. So I mean, I tell the story a lot, but it's a good story to tell. So my brother is actually autistic, and he had this like compulsive thing with like pirates for a while, and he came across an Undertaker action figure and had to take this thing with him everywhere because he thought Undertaker was a pirate at the time. But I did my research on the Undertaker, and of course, found out all about him, and I found out, I picked up some DVD sets, and we didn't have cable at the time, so all we watched was just Undertaker, and we just fell in love with wrestling. And not too long after that, I started training at a local wrestling school, and it really just took off from there, and I never really had any passion for anything else before that. No goals, no idea of what I was going to do with my life, and wrestling kind of came along and gave me that.
Mm-hmm. Gave you a focus and a goal in life, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who would you say that the Undertaker is like your main influence, or do you have any other wrestlers out there that are your influence?
Well, the Undertaker, because I mean, like, there's 1,001 wrestlers that I could name that influenced me, and are just great to watch and learn from. But at the same time, the Undertaker was the first wrestler that I really got to know, and with his character work, it really inspired me a lot early on, because he was somebody that could make you feel just unsettled when he came to the ring. Not even when he got in the ring yet, but just on the way to the ring,
mm-hmm.
Everyone would get that feeling of, oh my gosh, what is he going to do? And I just was so fascinated by that, and how when I was a fan, how the Undertaker could make me feel so many emotions just by entering the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that very inspiring, and I was like, I want to do that.
Did you ever have the chance to see him live perform in person?
I did. I was at WrestleMania 30, and cool. I was about 7 rows back from the ring when he lost his streak.
Oh man!
Yeah, it was the first time ever seeing him, and my brother was going ballistic. So.
Oh, I'm sure. I've had the pleasure of seeing him too a few times, and it's quite the experience when he comes out. I mean, it's just like everybody's just transfixed on him, and you just watch the spectacle. It's just so beautiful to see in a way.
Oh yeah, it's just amazing how a person can make that many people in a room silent.
Exactly.
And just it's just amazing to me.
Exactly. So you mentioned earlier when you trained for a little while. Who did you train under?
Well, when I first started, I trained under one of the local guys here in Georgia, and then eventually I started training with Murder One, very well known and respected veteran in Georgia. And when I started training with him, that's when I really saw my wrestling change for the better, and I started really learning and growing. And he also hardened me a lot, because I was very soft. I came from a very strict family. I didn't really go out. I wasn't really social. So
mm-hmm. when
I started training under him, he really toughened me up. And he put me through a lot, but he's who made me what I am today as a wrestler.
Okay. Was he the type of trainer? Because you hear this a lot from the old timers. They'll say, well, my trainer, he tried to beat me so that I wouldn't come back, but I kept coming back. Was Murder One that type of trainer at all?
I don't think he was rough with me to try to get me to not come back, but he just wanted to toughen me up, because I mean, he definitely put me through hell in my first year training with him. And I mean, still to this day, he doesn't take it easy on me, and he's always been very brutally honest. I mean, there's been times where I've shed tears with him,
mm-hmm.
but back then it was like, this is hell. I'm never gonna make it through this. But now it's like I really appreciate it, because if it wasn't for that, I would be weak.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Now, when you started out, about 2 years ago, you were more like a gypsy type character, and then you evolved into what you are today, basically like a succubus vampire kind of sorta. I would say.
Yeah, succubus. I don't know if you've actually like heard me say that before, but I mean, if you just said succubus off the top of your head, I appreciate that because you're one of the first people to actually see it and understand.
Well,
Yeah, my character now.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, like when I first started, I really didn't know what to do, as far as character goes. Like I had an idea, but I was still living with my mom, and my mom was very controlling and wouldn't let me be myself. And growing up, I was always like, I wanted to be. I remember being 6 years old and like coming up to my mom and be like, "Mom, I want to be punk rock. Like, make me whatever punk rock is." And she just really wanted me to be this girly little princess because she was like, boys don't like that. And it's like when I started wrestling, she controlled my every move for the most part. What I wore, what I did, what I said, how I looked, everything. So when I moved out, I was finally able to find myself and really be who I wanted to be. And that's when I started doing this succubus character. It was not too long after that. And it comes from, the character itself comes from not only my personal story, but in a wrestling perspective, it is a way to get in the head of my opponents, as I said earlier. But coming from the personal side, my mom always made me feel shameful of my sexuality because I grew up so strict. So it was like, you can't do this, you'll get a bad name, or, you'll get talked about, or you can't do, and, what I do is basically like, I want younger people to know that they can be open with their sexuality and they should never feel ashamed or have to hide who they are. And that's what I promote from a personal side.
Okay. Just be themselves. So basically, because you always hear wrestlers say, "Well, the best characters is yourself, but amped up to 1,000." So basically, is that what you're saying that you're doing right now?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and I feel like I also, I want people to realize that no one, even if your parents make you feel uncomfortable to be who you are, like, do that, be yourself. Because it wasn't until I started being myself that I was truly happy. And for years I wasn't happy because my mom made me feel so ashamed to be myself and be open about, anything, sex, my look, whatever. So, I would like to preach like younger communities about that, like especially like younger LGBT communities that don't feel like they can be comfortable with their sexuality. Like, I just want everyone to be themselves, and even if themselves is a crazy person or if they think is a weirdo, like I just want people to know, like, be a weirdo. That's what I am.
Yeah. If you want to be, just be who you are, right?
Yeah, but in a wrestling perspective, because it's not just, oh, I want to do this just to be open and crazy, for shock factor. It never was just for shock factor, but it was also, like I said, to really make people's skin crawl. I don't go out there and try to be sexy, like, oh, look at me, like, aren't I so hot? I try to make people uncomfortable. Like, I want people to feel sick to their stomachs almost when they watch me wrestle. Even if that's a good way or a bad way, it's not meant to be a sexy type thing. It's more to be like violating.
Yeah. Just to get people thinking and get people, like you said, it's kind of, sometimes it's cringeworthy. And I got to say, sometimes some of the things you've done, I'm like, oh, okay, that's different, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it very much because it totally sets you apart, and that's the great thing.
Yeah.
Now
and of course. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just going to get into that. You also do intergender matches, so where you wrestle against men. So a lot of people are turned off by that, but a lot of people love it too, because they say, oh, it's a women empowerment, but the denigrators will say the opposite. Well, no, it's men beating up on women. I mean, obviously you're okay with it since you do it, but do you see it as a good thing or a bad thing?
I think if you do it right, it's a good thing. If you don't, then it can be a bad thing. Because, I mean, the thing is you wouldn't... There's a lot of matches, like intergender matches, where like the men just straight up put the girls in position instead of actually like making them work for it. You know what I mean? And I think it should be taken more seriously. But when it is taken seriously, like the stuff that Candice LeRae does, like you can make something really amusing when you do it that way. Where it's like an actual contest and it's an actual fight, and the men don't take it easy on the woman they're in the ring with.
And makes it believable. You know, basically, you want it to be believable. So you've been making a name for yourself in a lot of different promotions. You're going up the ranks pretty quickly. I mean, like I said earlier, you're going to be with Shine 47 tomorrow, but you've also worked with Rise, with Full Impact Pro, and now you're also working with Evolve. Ultimately, I mean, maybe I'm talking too far down the road, but ultimately, is your goal to be go to the WWE, or are you okay for now? Just thinking about the present and then concentrating on what you're doing.
Well, I mean, of course, like I would love to go to the WWE. That would be amazing. But it's not the only goal that I have. I would love to go there, but I'd also like to just travel the world and wrestle everywhere and get to experience. Just get to experience everything, because I mean, in my short 3 years of a career, I've already experienced stuff that I never thought I would experience. Going to New York, going to California, wrestling in front of these huge crowds, and it's just surreal at times. And I can only imagine when I start going overseas how that's going to be. And I just really want to travel the world and give my brother someone to look up to.
Yeah. So I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to your future and what you evolve, quote unquote, and no pun intended, and see where you go and stuff. And I'm definitely a fan here. So before now, I guess now we'll go into talk about heavy metal, because I know you're a fan. So I put together a few questions that I'm hoping you'll enjoy and you'll have a little bit of fun with here. Okay. So okay. So when you grow up, you kind of have somebody in your life that kind of introduces you to music as you get older and stuff. Now, when you first heard heavy metal or heard some heavy metal music, who was it for you that brought that into your life? Was it like a sibling? Was it your parents? Was it a friend, an uncle? I mean, who was it for you?
My dad introduced me to metal. I remember being I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and my dad would play songs and have me guess what artist it was. And we would always just listen to Metallica. Like at 11 years old, I went to a Metallica concert for the first time, and me and my dad went, and I think it was them, Lamb of God, and I think Pantera. Wow. And and it was just amazing. And so I grew up a lot on Black Sabbath, Metallica, and not just metal, but I mean other things. Like I grew up in a lot of like Blink-182 and the Killers and bands like that too. So my dad really opened me up to that world. And then like when I was about 6, that's when I started discovering bands on my own. So I started discovering Green Day, My Chemical Romance, AFI. And those types of bands too. And I know that's straying a little away from metal, but
no, it's still in the ballpark. Yeah. So I mean, and then from there, of course, it just grows and grows and grows as you get older. But my dad really influenced my music taste growing up. Gotcha. Now, a lot of us heavy metal fans, when we grow up, we kind of get inspired to either pick up an instrument or start singing. Did you ever have any aspirations like that at some point?
I actually, I picked up on piano. All when I was younger, I used to love to play piano. At 6 years old, I was able to play Welcome to the Black Parade intro on a piano. And then when I believe I was 11, I bought my first real keyboard.
Okay.
And the first ever song that I learned how to play on keyboard within like 30 minutes of having it, because I got it for my birthday. I played "The Day That Never Comes."
Wow.
The first 30 having it, yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, and then from there, I learned a lot of Metallica songs early on because my dad was just like he just loved it when I would play the Metallica because it's like such nice like ballads of these kind of songs. So like I played that one, and then I learned Fade to Black and then Sanitarium.
Okay.
And then from there, I started playing more. Like I started to play a lot of Lana Del Rey, and like that's away from metal, but like stuff like that too. But yeah, I'm not like super amazing at it, but it was a good pastime and a good a hobby that I really enjoyed.
Well, it's a good thing to have in your background as a wrestler, because one day, I mean, I don't know, you may want to write your own theme song, to come out to.
Yeah.
Or at least collaborate with somebody.
Yeah. And it's been easy to pick up on other instruments too, because the piano is a good base because you learn the chords and you never kind of forget them. Because I recently got a ukulele and picked up on it super easy. And I'm already learning like aside from the Adventure Time theme song, I'm learning like a Green Day ukulele.
That's cool. Did you ever see on YouTube the guy that plays a Slayer on a ukulele?
No, I haven't. But there is a girl that inspired my piano playing, and she's really good at playing Metallica ballads.
Okay.
Piano.
Okay. That's cool. So these days, I mean, you said your first concert ever was Metallica. Mine too, but mine was back in 1986. So
well, it was one of my first concerts. My first ever concert was actually let's see, it was Panic at the Disco.
Oh, okay.
Plain White T's, Dashboard Confessional in the Cab. And that was my very first ever concert.
Okay. Not bad.
Metallica came like right after, though.
Okay. That's cool. And do you have time at all these days to go see concerts, or are you too busy with the wrestling?
Oh, yeah. No, I make time for concerts. I went to see Gore last night.
Oh, cool. How'd you like it?
Yeah. Oh, it was great. I'm covered and stained in pink from the blood that they squirt out, and it was insane. I'm really sore and beat up today. I got punched in the nose. It was awesome.
Oh, so you're the type of girl who gets into the pit, right?
Oh yeah, it's like, to me, it's just no fun to like just stand to the side. Like if you're not in the pit, then go home.
That's awesome. Did you get a chance to see one of the opening bands, Ghoul, the ones with the executioner's masks? Did you get a chance to see them?
I did. They were great. Got to see them, and I missed the very, very first opening band. So I did get to see them. But I'm constantly going to concerts. Like I'm a big fan of Attila, like a metalcore type band. And I've seen them numerous amounts of times. A lot of variety too, because like there's a band named Avatar. It's a Swedish band, and I got to see them, and they were really phenomenal. And then A Day to Remember, going to more pop punk, and then a pirate band named Ailstorm, which was really awesome. It's all that Warped Tour, and they were just great.
Yeah. Oh, you have a very wide palette. That's pretty. That's very cool. You seem to like a whole lot of different genres in the metal hard rock scene. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So when you go to concerts like that, do you ever run into wrestling fans that recognize you?
I think I have a few times. I get more like recognitions just like the most random times, like in gas stations or in stores. It's very rare that I get recognized like at a concert. But then again, at a concert, I usually look like hell. So, yeah.
So, have you, and because of wrestling, have you ever met a band that you love, where because you're a wrestler, you got to go backstage and go meet somebody that you're a fan of?
Yeah, I did. I actually got to meet and hang out with the guys from Issues, which is a pop punk band. I got to hang out with the guys from Issues, and I got to hang out with some of the guys from Falling in Reverse, and so that was really cool.
Okay.
Big fan of punk those bands.
Okay. Now, is there anybody out there that you would absolutely love to meet, but you haven't yet, and somebody maybe that you would try and not go all fangirl on? I mean, is there anybody out there that you truly want to meet?
God, there's so many. I mean, Billy from Green Day, Gerard from MCR, Franz from Attila. Those are just a few. But I mean, there's so many, though. There really are.
Yeah. So, talking about fan encounters earlier, have you had any weird fan interactions, where, I don't know, like at a meet and greet where a fan comes up and they're totally freaking out and you're not sure how to handle it? Has that ever happened to you?
I've had fans cry when they meet me. That one's pretty odd because, it's so sweet, but at the same time, it's like I don't know what to do. Like, do I hold you? Do I not? I don't know. But yeah, though I don't know. There's a lot of weird fan encounters. It's hard to really pick out like a specific one. But I've had times where fans have like followed me around creepily, and fans will come up to me and like try to get my number. I've had fans ask me to like kiss them on the mouth. It's like really creepy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do you get trolled at all on social media, like on your Twitter and Instagram and all that?
Yeah, I do for sure.
Yeah.
People like to tell me that I look like people, and they know it annoys me, so they do it more. But it's okay.
Okay. So speaking of social media, how can people find you online?
I am on Twitter. Priscilla Kelly _ is my Twitter, and my Instagram is THE Priscilla Kelly, and my Facebook is the same, the Priscilla Kelly. And besides that, I think that's pretty much it for my social media.
Okay. Now, aside Shine 47 tomorrow, where you're going to be defending against ACR. I'm sorry. Do you have any other appearances that you can talk about that are coming up soon?
Yeah, I'm going to be in Seattle soon for Defy, and I'm also going to be at Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment on the 27th of December, and then in January I've got Evolve the 13th, and I believe the 14th, and Queens of Combat January 20th, and then another Shine on the 26th, and I mean there's tons, like go over for months. But I'm at all the Evolve FIPs and Shine shows, so you can always catch me there.